What's up, everybody? It's your boy Adam, back at it once again. It is hashtag homeless as usual, day 76. And so I'm just going to jump right into what I was planning on talking about today. It's been a very, mostly uneventful morning. The usual nonsense at the shelter, and followed by me getting out that door as fast as humanly possible once breakfast was over. So the earlier I get out that door, the less stress I have for the day. Have to get ready for a job interview here in a couple hours, and no big deal. It's probably a 5 to 10 minute walk from where I'm sitting right now. So speaking of job interviews, I saw something on LinkedIn last night, and I thought it was worth sharing with you because it goes right along with what I was talking about today, what I was planning on talking about today. And in fact, I'm seeing more and more smart-assed content on LinkedIn. I mean, there's still a lot of cringe and a lot of this corporate brown-nosing stuff, but over the last few months, I have really started to notice more and more smart-assed content pointed towards companies that treat employees like garbage, more political stuff, and it's all just a sign to me that people in general, they no longer give a crap about losing their job over showing their true colors on social media. People are just getting sick and tired of everything that's going on right now, including being sick and tired of getting treated like garbage by the companies they work for, and it shows. I already mentioned in another video about a pro-Trump post that I saw on LinkedIn. This is probably the first time out of all the time I've ever been on LinkedIn, this is probably the only time I ever saw a political post on LinkedIn, and it was a pro-Trump post, and it just said, Trump is going to save America or something like that, and it had 47,000 likes. And so 47,000 people were not afraid of losing their job anymore for publicly declaring that they're voting for Donald Trump. And, you got to think about that for a minute, because that would not have been the case 4 years ago. Not at all. How far have we come since the days where your coworkers finding out that you voted for Donald Trump would be the reason you lost your job? And how far have we come to the point where 47,000 people don't give a shit anymore? They're sick of this. They're sick and tired of everything, to the point where they're just putting it out on LinkedIn for all their coworkers to see. And so there was another post last night that I read, and it went right along not only with what I was working on last night, but what I wanted to talk about today. So the post here, I'm just going to read it word for word. It says, getting a job in 2019, apply, get an interview, receive an offer, negotiate salary, start the job. And now it says, getting a job in 2024. Send a personalized gift basket to the team. Complete an unpaid project. Meet the hiring manager's neighbor's dog walker to gauge your cultural fit. Compose a catchy company anthem and make it trend. Find a job that requires a master's degree but pays entry-level wages. Participate in a virtual escape room challenge. Take a 3-hour aptitude test. Write and produce a short film about your career journey. Connect with current employees on LinkedIn and ask for a referral. Apologize for any perceived mistakes in your application. Hope that your efforts outshine other candidates. Begin the interview process consisting of 20 stages. Did I forget anything? And I could say that, that's what I'm going through right now. I have a company that has me in an 8-week, it's going on 9 weeks of interviews and bullshit. And at some point, when are these people going to take a dump or get off the pot? I mean, make up your minds. But, of course, when I see a smart-ass post like that, I need to chime in. And so it said, did I forget anything? And I said, well, what about copying and pasting every job you've ever had into a bunch of form fields even though you just attached your resume to the job application in the first step of the process. Why are we attaching our resumes to these job applications, and then we have to copy and paste everything from the freaking resume into a bunch of little form fields and spend another half an hour doing that? Like, why don't you just read the resume? But wait, there's more. I had to say something else. And I said, don't forget the 350 hours I've already put into my design portfolio, only to be asked, can you add another 20 hours worth of content to that by tomorrow? Because that's what happened to me yesterday. The portfolio requests, they never stop. I've said this in more than one video. Every single time, and I mean every single time I go to an interview for one of these software design jobs, they always want to see something in my portfolio that's not in my portfolio. So once again, I'm forced and I'm steered to spend my entire day doing something that I really don't want to spend time on, but I know that in the long run, it's just helping me increase the stuff that's in my portfolio. And so I'm going to talk about that in a little more detail here. So I have a design portfolio that's built with a whiteboard app. It's called Miro. Think of this as a fancy PowerPoint slideshow, but it has more interactivity than a PowerPoint slide. So as of last week, it had 43 slides total. But due to requests from interviewers and to appease the last few rounds of people I interviewed with, I added 14 more slides to it for a total of 57 slides. 57 slides. And then yesterday, after my first job interview and figuring out how to incorporate what I was being asked to show in my portfolio that they didn't see, now I'm going to have to add at least 6 more slides by the end of the day today. So consider that some of these slides can take 2 to 3 hours each to put together. So that's 114 to 171 hours total that has gone into this whiteboard portfolio so far. And I would say that's pretty close to the amount of time I put in on that part of my portfolio. And if you combine that with the code samples that I had to add a while back, that was another 40 to 50 hours worth of work. And then combine that with the prototypes that I've created and reworked from one application, which they were all created in an app called Sketch. And I'm porting them over manually into another app because everybody's using this new app now. It's called Figma. And that's no big deal. Figma is a good app, and I like using it more than Sketch. But I've easily spent 100 hours converting prototypes from one app to another. And at the end of the day, it just means I'm going to have prototypes available in both apps, and I'll be able to show that I know both apps inside and out. But it's 100 hours of work I put into that. So in the time I took, add in the time I took redoing my resume twice now, the cover letter templates, the document templates that go with that, that's probably another 20 hours, at least 20 hours. Now, I'm just generalizing here. But if I add all this up, it's about 250 to 350 hours spent on my portfolio so far. That's 6 to 9 40-hour work weeks. And I've been out of prison since April 2nd, so that's about 17 weeks that I've been out of prison. And 6 to 9 weeks of that, if you count 40-hour work weeks, have been spent solely working on my portfolio trying to get a new job. So half of my time out of prison or more has been spent working on that portfolio. And in my line of work, you don't get away with just sending out a resume and filling out job applications and then just going on interviews and talking your way through. You basically have to be putting in a full-time job's worth of work in order to get an interview at any of these kind of jobs. And it's not really a whole lot different than when you own a company and you need all kinds of marketing materials like a website, advertising, your business card, your logo, a bunch of printed brochures, and whatever else that you use to get people to pay attention to you. In fact, I haven't even built a website for myself yet. Everything is tied together with a Linktree profile where I'm just tying together a bunch of different things like my resume, the whiteboard slideshow portfolio, the prototypes, the code samples, and I even have links to my photography and other relevant and lifestyle links that people get a kick out of seeing. They just want to get a sense of your personality. So the bottom line is, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And when it comes to building a more robust website to replace this Linktree profile, I can expect to spend another 100 hours there. To do something really nice, I can probably get something quick and dirty done in the span of about 30 to 40 hours, a whole work week. And that'll just be the basic level, like just good enough to show other people version. So, but I'm using the slideshow and the whiteboard as the basis of the content. So at least one of the benefits of this whiteboard is that it'll be very easy to organize and group the content together. And it begins to tell the story about what I do for a living. And it's helping me focus on the content, both the text content and the imagery, the sketches, wireframes, prototypes, screenshots of final products, and things about design philosophy and the design process and leadership and management styles and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm working on. That's what I'll be working on all day today after this interview wraps up this morning. And hopefully I get these slides done to appease the person that asked for them yesterday. Getting them turned around in 24 hours, I think that would be a reasonable expectation. I think that would be above and beyond what they're expecting, to be honest. So, both of the interviews went pretty well. The second interview was a little bit more elaborate. It was a Zoom meeting, and I ended up using slides. I ended up using a lot of the new slides that I put into that slide deck as part of the interview and talking about my work. So the work, once again, it's not a waste of time. It's just time. It's just a lot of time. But one of the things that I've noticed is that before these interviews start, and this happens every single time, I go through this whole stage fright process. And, how many times have you heard a professional musician, like somebody big, somebody like Taylor Swift or Lady Gaga or Motley Crue or, whatever the case may be, so a big name musician backstage getting ready for a show, and how often do you hear those people talk about their nerves and how they're nervous and how they'd rather not be here today? Who wants to go to work on a Thursday night? I want to be out. I want to be out on vacation. I want to be sitting at the beach. I want to be walking through the woods. I want to be chilling by a campfire. I don't want to be going to work. And so, but what do all these musicians have in common? They talk about all the nervous energy that they feel. And, they're walking up onto the stage. They can hear the crowd screaming and yelling and, all that stuff. And then what happens? The curtain goes back. They walk out on stage and boom, showtime. It's like they have an internal switch where all that stuff goes away. The nervous energy, all those things just go away. And it's like a light switch, just boom, it's off. And all of a sudden it's showtime, and they just get right into their routine. They're professionals. They've done it a million times. They know all the notes. They know all the words. They know all the moves. They know everything that they need to do. And they just robotically go through the set perfectly, more often than not. And they don't even, there's no nervousness. It's just gone in the blink of an eye. And that's kind of what happens to me, not just in job interviews, but any professional setting. Like, let's say a big meeting where the CEO is going to be sitting in the room listening to me do a presentation, and I've got some nervous energy, but as soon as I walk into that conference room and plug in, boom, it's on. Forget it. It's like a switch goes off inside of me, and all of a sudden it's all gone. So yesterday I'm waiting for the curtain to open in the Zoom meeting. 3 minutes before the Zoom meeting, I'm fidgeting, I'm twiddling my thumbs, I'm trying to close my eyes and take deep breaths, breathe, and trying to expel all that nervous energy. But the second that meeting starts, boom, it's on. No nerves at all. And that happens because I've done this show a million times. So But it's something to keep in mind that even when I do these YouTube videos, this is the 76th day of being homeless, so that's 75 videos. I'm still nervous when I hit that button, or when I'm pulling up the camera and I'm looking at myself in the phone, but then I hit that record button and boom, it's gone. And that took a number of videos. That took about 5 or 6 times doing this before that instantaneous, it's over, do the video, forget about the nerd, you don't like, not giving a crap anymore. Took about 5 or 6 videos before I got into that mode, doing these videos with you guys. And the interview went really smooth yesterday, but I did have a Kamala Harris moment. About halfway through the interview, they asked me a question that I wasn't prepared for, and it was kind of an off-the-wall. It really wasn't out of the ballpark kind of a question, but I was prepared to do presentation more on design theory and design process and creative process and those kinds of things. And they started getting into management questions, and they asked me one question that just kind of threw me off for a minute, and I had to think about it. But while I was thinking about it, I went down this whole Kamala Harris tract where I'm like, well, it really has a lot to do with the passage of time, you see, and the significance of the passage of time. And when there's a significant passage of time, well, that time, it becomes significant. And so I'm going down this road, and then all of a sudden the answers just popped into my head, because that was just autopilot for me to go down the Kamala Harris road and start talking like her. But then all of a sudden a good answer, 2 answers, 3 answers popped into my head. And so I was kind of able to steer the train back onto the tracks and keep it from going off the rails. So I don't know if I'm going to make it to the next round, but I honestly feel like the only part of the interview where I might have botched something was the Kamala Harris bit. And if that's the only mistake that I made, then that really wasn't that big of a deal. And the nice thing about that mistake is that I'm prepared for that question the next time it comes up. And I'll be putting some slides in my slide deck portfolio to go along with that, so that if that question does come up and I'm sharing my screen with people, I can say, well, not only can I talk about the answer to that, let's go to this slide. And I have graphics and stuff to go along with it. And people like to see that. It just puts forth the idea that you've really put thought into your answers to these questions, especially when you have a slide deck that answers the questions as they're asking them. So I'm going to move on to YouTube in general, and I'm going to talk about this guy that I like. His name is Friar Tuck. It's the Epic of Friar Tuck. He does a lot of videos about being homeless. He's a cool dude. I like watching his videos. Right now, he has over 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. And it sounds like, from what he's talking about in his videos, he's starting to make enough money from his hustle to support doing this more full time, and maybe even getting himself a home at one point, I heard him say. But one thing I noticed is I was clicking on the links in a video description of his and checking out his other online presences. I noticed that he also had a Rumble channel. And even though he has 4,000 followers on YouTube, his Rumble channel has 163 followers. That's 163 followers when his YouTube channel has over 4,000, and he's closing in on 5,000 subscribers right now. I think he was at 47 or 4,800 when I looked. His videos are maybe getting 20 views on Rumble. But on YouTube, within a week or two of posting a video, he's getting upwards of 4,000 views on a video. Easily 1,000 views per video. And that's not that bad on YouTube right now, especially with a 4,000 person strong subscriber list. So I keep talking over and over about how Rumble, it really is the only viable alternative to YouTube right now that even has a chance to take away market share from YouTube. But it's only a viable alternative right now if you are one specific kind of content creator. If you are a right-wing grifter who has a following above 100,000 people or into the millions of followers, and you reach the stage of your game where you get deplatformed, then Rumble is a viable alternative where you can just jump over there, keep producing your video content, and your core audience will gladly jump ship and go watch your videos over there. And on top of that, Rumble will go out of their way to support you and promote you and make sure that your audience over there grows. But if you're not a right-wing Republican grifter with a huge following and you get on Rumble, then you're fucked. You will be adding content and speaking into an abyss where nobody sees you or hears you and nobody knows you even exist. And no matter what you do, everything you do on that platform is completely pointless. I'm going to keep saying it, but there will not be a replacement for YouTube just because someone built another video platform. There absolutely must be a platform, and this applies to any social media platform. You absolutely have to do this. A social media platform absolutely must allow new and unknown people to grow an audience. And I'm not saying it has to be easy for someone new to grow an audience. I'm just saying that it has to be possible. They need to give you a chance. They need to at least show your content to people and at least let other people decide whether it's worth seeing or not. I've been seeing more than one so-called alternative platform do this. I mean, I'm talking about Gab. The only way to get popular on Gab is to be a right-wing grifter with a huge following. If you're not one of those, nobody will give you the time of day or see anything you post. And I'm speaking from experience. There are even mechanisms in place where if you do post viral content that gets shared across the platform, they have roadblocks built in place to keep it from spreading or to keep that popularity of your post from leading to you getting more followers. But I'm not here to talk about Gab right now. I have a lot to say about that platform because that's where I got in trouble and ended up spending 20 months in federal prison. And there's a lot more to that story that people don't know, and I will share in an upcoming video. But for now, I just want to focus on Rumble because right now, video is the big way to reach the masses. And sorry, but TikTok is for idiots. That's all it's for. Instagram and Twitter are extremely limited. And on Twitter, you need to pay them to be able to post any videos that are longer than 2 minutes long. So right now, the only viable alternative to YouTube is Rumble. And in the prepper community, what do we say? 1 is none and 2 is 1. So without a viable second option to compete with YouTube, we're all screwed. We're screwed. So I'm going to put my Rumble stats here versus YouTube. On YouTube, I have, as of yesterday at some point, 1,081 subscribers, and I get an average of 1,000 to 3,000 views on every video that I post. On Rumble, same exact content. I have 14 subscribers and an average of 5 to 25 views on any given video. The most I ever get is 25, but a lot of videos don't climb up above 5 views. And all of the comments that I get on YouTube, they're great. Even the trolls, people are engaged, people interact with you. I have conversations going back and forth with all of you, and a lot of the content that I talk about on these videos comes from the things that you mention in the comments section. But on Rumble, not so much. Like I said, I've got 14 followers there, and I'm pretty convinced that out of those 14 followers, I'm pretty convinced that 14 of them are bots because they leave comments on every video, and I'm going to read a few of them because these comments are all exactly the same. Hi, Redeeming Light. I hope you're doing great. I'm Charles Johnson, a digital marketer passionate about helping channels grow. I came across your channel and love what you're doing. With my years of experience, I'm confident we can take your channel to the next level. You won't regret working with me. Looking forward to hearing from you. Best, Charles Johnson. Email x347751@gmail.com. And he gave me a Telegram address. Here's another comment. Hi there, Redeeming Light. I hope this message finds you well. I recently had the pleasure of discovering your channel amidst my exploration of the digital landscape. Upon reviewing your content, I was truly impressed by the quality and value you provide your audience. Your dedication to creating engaging videos is evident, and I commend your efforts in cultivating such a commendable platform. However, as I perused your channel, I couldn't help but notice a minor aspect that I believe warrants your attention. Given the constraints of discussing such matters within public content sections, I wanted to extend an invitation for a private conversation regarding this observation. Please find my contact details below for your convenience. And it's like a WhatsApp, 234-903-312-211-7287. And then some, George, something or other, 12187 @gmail.com. I am eager to engage in a constructive dialogue and offer any assistance or insights that may be beneficial to you and your channel. Your response would be greatly appreciated. Here's another one. Hi there, Redeeming Light. Your video completely blew me away. I'm really impressed by the quality and usefulness of your content. As a friend, I'd love to share something with you. Could we connect further? Feel free to send me your contact details or reach out to me here whenever it suits you. Something or the 3@gmail.com, something on Telegram. Oh, he's also on Fiverr, and WhatsApp. Something the 602 MKD1 on WhatsApp. Here's another one. Hello there. Your video is fantastic and interesting, I must commend. But I noticed you are having low engagement. I can help you boost your channel and make you go viral. If you are interested in growing your channel and make it have more engagement, kindly connect with me with the following media platform. Something 336625 @gmail.com. Some sort of WhatsApp and a Telegram. I'll be waiting for your response. Thank you. And again, hi there. I admire your channel, but noticed you're not getting the engagement you deserve. I'd love to help your channel in getting more exposure and visibility to unlock your earnings potential. If you are ready to reach out to me at Gmail, 793 @gmail.com, and Instagram, something or other. And he's on Telegram and Fiverr. And looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks. JDBXHXBXB. Fuck, man. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to keep doing this video. This guy just showed up on a giant lawnmower, and I mean, yeah, the lawn needs mowed, so I might have to wrap this up here. But anyway, I could keep going on and on. I had 2 more of these comments. What the hell, dude? Oh, I see. Oh my goodness. I don't know what. I'm just going to have to wrap this up. But yeah, every single comment that I get, and I mean every single comment that I get on a video on the Rumble platform, is one of these spam bots trying to get me to pay them to go to some click farm and get a bunch of, clickers in a sweatshop in India to click on my videos and generate more views. And that's not going to do anything to make the channel grow. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, I pay $20, I pay $100 to get 10,000 clicks on my channel, and then there's a spike in traffic for a few days, and then it goes right back to 0 engagement. So no, I'm not going to do that. But, I don't really know how to get any real human beings to view the videos there. The only channels I ever see who have any traction, they're all the same. Like I said, Republican conservative grifters who already had a huge following on YouTube before they got kicked off. They're plastered everywhere across the platform that you look. And every single suggested content block is full of those videos and nothing else. So if Rumble wants to grow, if Rumble wants to be a viable alternative to YouTube and not just a home for wayward Republican grifters, they're going to have to give people an incentive to come over to that platform. And so I was really hesitant to put my stuff on YouTube because of all the censorship, because of all the shenanigans. But now that I'm in it and now that I'm doing it, I'm glad that I chose YouTube, because I considered only posting content to the upstarts and the free speech oriented platforms. But yeah, you'll have freedom of speech and no one will see what you're saying. Because you have absolutely no chance to grow on any of the free speech platforms, because the only people they care about are popular right-wing grifters who already have a following, and anybody else can just go pound sand. But on YouTube, you guys, you're watching these videos 2,000 to 3,000 times a day now. And like I said, Friar Tuck, he's not getting any traction on Rumble. And I've seen Rumble channels with people who have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and they can barely get to 10,000 subscribers on Rumble. And even then, they're getting less than 50 views on a video, but those same exact videos from the same exact people on YouTube, they're getting hundreds of thousands of views on every single one of their videos. So when it's the exact same content being posted to both platforms, that's proof right there that it's not the fault of the creator when it comes to the abysmal results that they're getting on Rumble. It's almost like the Rumble administrators are trying to block any content that's not a right-wing Republican grifter from getting any views or taking away traffic from the grifter community. So I'm just going to wrap this. There's people just popping up everywhere. There's dogs, there's walkers, there's all kinds of stuff going on. I'm going to have to wrap this up. Once again, I'm thankful for this YouTube channel and all the virtual friends and the possibilities that this is opening up. I'm thankful that I did not rely on the 2-bit ass clowns like Rumble, because I would have quit by now if I was only getting 10 views on a video. Thankful that God intervened in my life more than once when I was falling down, and I'm done with the gratitude. Here are the plugs. Free.litgood.com, that's the mailing list. You can sign up, get your wallpaper. Shop.litgood.com, you can go there and you can buy photographs. The YouTube shop, you can go there. Litgood.com, you can check out my photography. And once again, the digital chicken bucket is donate.litgood.com. And I need to go somewhere quiet. This is getting fucking ridiculous. And now, holy shit, I just had a bunch of stones flung at me. So all I'm gonna say is I hope your day is going better than mine. This place is fucking ridiculous. Jamestown sucks. Peace out.